Right. Yesterday, I discussed about these services in SQL Server or services of SQL Server. And in this services of SQL Server, here, whenever you install SQL Server software, you would find two types of services: instance aware services, instance unaware services. Difference I mentioned there. If a service is attached by instance name, then it is called instance aware services. If a service is not attached by instance name, then it is called instance unaware services. So yesterday in the demonstration, I have shown you which services are called instance aware and which services are called instance unaware. Okay. And what is instance? Installation of SQL Server software is called instance. Okay, fine. Today, we are going to learn what are hardware and software requirements for SQL Server. Yes. First, I'll talk about operating system. Yeah. And something important is in real time, whenever SQL Server software is installed in real time, they will install on Windows Server OS. Windows Server OS. Yes, real time I'm saying. Why? Because Windows Server OS, this Windows Server OS is multi-user OS. It is a multi-user operating system. Which Windows Server OS? Yeah, either they may choose Windows 2000 Server or Windows 2003 Server, Windows 2008 Server. Yeah, these are all. For practice purpose, you can install SQL Server on any Windows operating system, any Windows OS. That may be Windows, Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 11. For practice purpose, I'm saying. But in real time, compulsory they install on what? Yes, server OS. What about, that is about server. What about client machine? Client machine. Yeah. Client machine can be any OS, any OS, like Windows XP or Windows 7 or Windows 8 or Windows 10 or Windows 11. For client, I'm saying. Client machine can be any OS. Do you need server in that? No, not at all. No. It means what? Yeah, it will be like this. The story goes like this. This is server. Okay. And in this, you're planning to install. You're planning to install what? SQL Server software. You're planning to install SQL Server software. Okay. Yes. And to install SQL Server software, what is this now? Obviously, this is your server machine. Server machine. And in this SQL Server software, you're planning to install on what? Obviously, Windows Server OS. Yes. Windows Server OS. Which server? I already gave you numbers. 2003 server, 2008 server. But it is Windows Server OS. And what about clients? Yeah. Clients are surrounded now. This is client 1, client 2, client 3, client 4, client 5, client 6, clients C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C6, 6 clients. Yes, this is client 1, client 2, client 3, client 4, client 5, client 6. Yes. Which OS? Yeah. They won't, first point, they won't have software. They'll just have one. Let me first write Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 11, Linux, Unix. Okay. Any OS. Okay. So let's say client 1 uses Windows 7. Client 4 uses Windows 8. Client 2 uses Windows 10. Client 6 uses Windows 11. Client 3 uses Linux. And client 5 uses Unix. Do they have SQL Server software? Obviously not. Then what they will have? They just have tool installed for them. Only tool is available. With the tool, they are going to communicate. They are going to communicate. Yes. Client 1, client 2, client 3, client 4, connected with server. Client 5, connected with this server. Client 6, also connected with this server. In a few minutes, I'll explain you what is the meaning of this tool. I'll explain you. This is, you are working with network environment. Yeah. You're installing SQL Server in network. That is what you call the client server technology. Yes. This is called client server technology. Network environment. Yes. Acha, what about single system then? If it is my laptop or if it is my desktop, single system. Yeah, this is single. I have single system. Okay, better you call, na? Why single system? Let me call this stand alone system. Yes. Which OS? Any Windows OS. Any Windows OS. Yeah. What you can do? Yes, you can install SQL Server software. Any Windows OS on which you are going to install what? SQL Server software. And one more thing. This is something you can call as local machine. Local. Standalone system. Local machine. And another interesting thing. This system is containing SQL Server software since in a single system. This itself is a client and this itself is a server. Both it is. It is client as well as it is server also. Both. Client and server, both. Because of single system. Yes. That single system itself is a client. That single system itself is what? Server. But what about network, client server technology? That is what I mean. Difference between client and server. Client machine, any OS. Any OS. Can you have Linux? 100% possible. Possible. Linux can also be there. Yes, I didn't write, but it will be there. You can. Client machine can be even on Linux. And coming to another point. RAM. RAM. Recommended. How much RAM should be there? See, it actually depends now. It actually depends. Depends on what? Like which version you are using. What is the task? What is the task you're going to do on that SQL server? Okay. And how many users are going to work on the database? So considering all those things, remember, it is recommended to have always greater than or equal to 6 GB. Yeah. 4 GB also will not put you in trouble. 4 GB also. But things go little slow in working. For that reason, suggested RAM capacity to have up to how much? 6 GB. Yeah. And coming to hard disk. If you are installing total software, complete software in the sense, here, types of servers, you remember? Here, types of servers. If all servers you are installing, database server, reporting server, integration server, analysis server, all if you are installing. Yeah, let me show you in my machine, so that you also will have an idea about it. Rough calculation, I'm not going with perfect one, only approximate. Yeah, this is default instance. This is default. Right click. Properties. Yeah. You can see it's already showing you around almost 794 MB memory it is showing for all three servers. So in that way, if you compare, remember hard disk, what is needed is hard disk. How much we need? We need is approximate, I'm saying, like around 6 GB. 6 GB hard disk drive is required. Hard disk drive. And from that 6 GB, From that 6 GB, 1 GB will be used by DB engine. Yeah. 1 GB will be used by how much? By whom it will be used? DB engine. That is called what? Database server. Yeah. Database server itself will use how much? 1 GB of 6 GB, I'm saying. And another interesting thing is, if you talk about CPU, for CPU, remember 1 gigahertz, or better, I'll write direct recommended one, I'll write recommended one, direct, instead of comparison, direct recommended one. Recommended version, recommended CPU, processor speed, I mean to say, 2 gigahertz. 2 gigahertz is recommended. And most of the important point, most important point, apart from all these, is, remember, compulsory in your system, you should have .NET related software as well. That is called .NET Framework 3.5 is needed. .NET Framework 3.5 version is needed. Compulsory. If you don't have this, then it will check the .NET Framework version, whether it is available or not during installation. If it is not available, straight away, it will give you error with a message that .NET Framework 3.1, 3.5 is not matching the installation. .NET Framework, what it is, 3.5 is needed. These are the hardware and software requirements. Okay? Yeah. Next. Now we will discuss something important, which I already covered in our regular batch. Okay? What it is? SQL Server tools. Yes. What tools? One, configuration tools. Yes, one tool. Configuration. How it will be? Yeah. It will be like this. You see? Start. All apps. Start. All apps. I have SQL Server software available here. And you can find a tool here. Can you see? SQL Server 2014 Configuration Manager. Yes, this is the tool I'm talking about. Configuration tool. Simple. Huh? What for? Simple. To perform configuration. To perform configuration of SQL Server. Configuration. What is second category? Yeah, we have something to learn about. Monitoring tools. In this list is there. List. One is SQL Server Management Studio. Second, Activity Monitor. Third is System Stored Procedures. Third one. Dynamic Management Views. You call them as DMVs. E. Dynamic Management Functions. You call them as DMFs. F. You call them as dashboard reports. Yeah, one more tool. These all are called what? Monitoring tools. Monitoring tools. And next we have command line utilities. Command line utilities. That includes two things again. SQL CMD. Second is called BCP, called bulk copy program. I'm talking about the tools which SQL Server is going to provide for us for our working to administration part. Command line utilities, you can call. Two tools I mentioned, SQL CMD, BCP. We got even some other tools supported, other tools. In that one is there called SQL Server Profiler. Yeah, SQL Server Profiler. That is one tool. SQL Server Profiler. There is another tool by name called Database Engine Tuning Advisor. This is one more tool. Yeah. See, there is one more by name called Upgrade Advisor. One more tool. We have something called third-party tools, etc. You can download third-party, not from Microsoft. Some other companies have introduced those tools. Yes. And once you install SQL Server software, then definitely you all can experience the working of all these tools. You can find all these tools available for you. Yeah. Now, configuration tool, throughout our course, we are going to use them many a times at different situations. Many a times at different situations. Yeah, I'm talking about configuration tool. So I won't discuss anything about that tool now. Just I've shown you how the tool looks like. How the tool. You can see, I've shown you just now here. SQL Server software in that tool configuration manager. Yes, the tool gets opened now. Yeah, tool gets opened. And you can see very clearly here, it's written like here, SQL Server Configuration Manager. Which machine? Obviously, ours is not network. No? Obviously, mine is local, single system, local environment. And what services it is handling? Configuration. All are SQL Server services. All. All are SQL Server services. All are running. Some are not running as well. Here, this is not running. This is not running. I didn't start them, but remaining all are running. Right? Now, next we have called SQL Server Management Studio. Yes. And now we will begin with SQL Server Management Studio. Yeah. In our regular batch, I have already covered this SQL Server Management Studio with this architecture. With this introduction, I'll show you. I mentioned like this kind of history, you can say, history of Management Studio. And very clearly, I mentioned here what SQL Server 2000. In SQL Server 2000, we used to have two separate tools. One tool was named Query Analyzer. One tool was named Enterprise Manager. And what they did, Instead of opening two tools to work with SQL Server, Microsoft has clubbed these two tools into one tool. That one tool is Management Studio. Combination, SQL Server Management Studio. It has a query analyzer and enterprise manager, both in Management Studio. Query analyzer is Object Explorer. Enterprise manager is sorry, one second. Undo. Yeah. Query analyzer is query editor. Enterprise manager is Object Explorer. Comparison. GUI, CUI, CUI. Yes. Character user interface. Graphical user interface. I mentioned here. This is user friendly. This one. User friendly. This is all typing. This is all about typing. Comparison. Now you don't need two tools. You open Management Studio. Management Studio internal contain two sub-tools. Object Explorer works similar to Enterprise Manager. Query Editor works similar to Query Analyzer. Yes. Now, be clear on all this stuff, please. Next class, maybe we are going to learn installation of SQL Server. All types of installation I'll be coming up in my next class. Based on the time, what it takes for installation, I'll discuss. Yeah, since they are already there in my machine, so I would make installation available for you people on your personal system. I'll guide you from here. You follow the instructions. All types of installation. What is called attended installation, unattended installation, silent installation. We'll discuss that. We'll discuss detail. Practically, you experience like all types of installation. And how do you open this tool? In 2005, we used to open the tool by this application, SQLWB, called SQL Workbench. In 2008, this tool gets opened by SSMS. From 2008. From 2008. What is available? SSMS. How do you open? Start run. SSMS. Enter. Yes. The tool gets opened. Yes, it is open. The tool gets opened. And one more thing that you would find is here. You want to see this tool also? Yeah, go there. All apps, software, where it is. Open that software. Yes, here the folder. And you can find. Can you see here? SQL Server 14, Management Studio. Click. Same tool. By typing SSMS also will open the same tool. Without typing also it will open the same tool. Yes. And 2008, these are features, new features you can call, new features. In 2008, SQL Server 2008, new features. IntelliSense, support for query editing, multi-server query, query editor regions, Object Explorer enhancements, activity monitor, many other. I listed few for your instant reference. Few I listed, few. Yeah. Depending on the topic, depending on the requirement, Depending on the connected concept, I'll be discussing these features. I'll discuss these features. You understand? And one more interesting thing. Second picture also I'll show you. Second picture. And you want to see this? Yeah, because I have the tool, you can definitely experience this. You can check. You can check this. Yeah, you want to check this? Management Studio. Yeah, see. First connect. Here, this is Object Explorer. Can you see here? Here, Object Explorer. When you click on new query, then query editor gets opened. Click, yeah, new query. Editor gets opened. Here, query editor. This is Object Explorer. Object Explorer, query editor. When you click on new query, then you get this. Here, new query will open this editor. What is this called? This is called session. Session. You call it a session. Session. How many you can open? You can open unlimited sessions. Unlimited sessions. By default. By default. How many? Unlimited. Unlimited. And this 56 is there. 56. This is called SPID. SPID. Session process ID, or they call server process ID. Yeah. SPID 56. Some more are there which are not visible for us. Background processes. Yeah. 56. Started from 56. Then what happens from 1 to 55? Those are all background sessions working for us. Yes. Yeah. Then I have covered, after completion of this, then I covered something about connectivity process. Yeah. Can you see this window here? Connecting to server. Here. Here. Connecting to server. And this connection to server has lot of things to understand. Lot of things. I'll open that picture now. S Paint 3. Yes, this is, can you see here? Connecting to server. Here. Connecting to server. From where you are connecting to server? From Management Studio. How you will connect? Through this connection process. Through this connection process. What would you do? First, you require server type. First, you need server type. Server type. Server type is what? Database engine. Database engine for whom? Database server. And the database engine is related with one service. Hope yesterday's class, you remember yesterday's class, I demonstrated very clearly how to start, how to stop services. Yesterday's class. How to start and how to stop services. In that discussion, we have come across about which service to be, which service you have to on, which service it will be disabled, how to on, how to start, how to stop, all that stuff we have discussed. Server type. Yeah, you can check here. Simply go there, you can find. Yeah, here. Server type, database engine, Yes. Hmm. Server type. After that, what do we have? Yes, you want to see server type? I've just shown you server type. Open here. Server type. What is this? Database engine. Only database engine? No, lot of, we got 4 services. Open it. 4 are there. Analysis, reporting, we don't need them. Even for a DBA, we don't need them. No, administrator doesn't work on them. Developer doesn't work on them. And then who works on them? Only business intelligence developers will work on them. People who work with BI, business intelligence. People who work with BI tools, they work on that. On analysis, reporting, integration. Then what is your job as a DBA? You work only with database engine. That's the only area where we should be we should have experience. We should be expert only in that server. That is not our job. Analysis, reporting, integration is not our profile. Though that is a job of BI developers. Haan. Achha. Second, what do we have? Server name. Server name, instance name, both. What is server name? Here you find my name, Ahmed. My name, Ahmed. Why Ahmed? Because that is my system name. That is my system name. So that, because local system, single system, so my system name itself is a server name. You want to check? Go to command prompt. Simply write host name, Ahmed. Host name, Ahmed. That itself is server. That itself is server name. You understand my point, what I'm saying? Because local server. Server name, local server. Because I'm installing in my local machine. So it is Ahmed. Which instance? Default instance. Default. First time if you have installed default instance. First time. Acha. First time if you install, it called default instance. And how many times you can install? 50 times. You want to see that picture? Yeah, open. I'll show you that. Yesterday we completed this. Yesterday. Hope you remember, yesterday we completed this one. I'm talking about this one, hierarchy. Instance, SQL Server installation. How many times? 50 times you can install SQL Server software. Same software you can install for 50 times, 50. In that first time when you install default instance, and for default instance, this is the name. This is the name, MS SQL Server. Yeah, we are connected with what? No, default instance. You want to check, then go for this. No? Browse for more. Database engine. You got Ahmed, that is default instance. Server 1, server 2 are named instances. This is default instance. Default instance. Connected. Disconnect. Again connect. Ahmed. But how to know? How to know that you are working with default instance, that this is your, you can write. For that also, Microsoft has given some queries. I don't know whether you people are aware of SQL Server or not, but these are the queries. At least if you're not aware, at least remember what I'm showing you. Select. What do you want to know? You want to know what server name you want to know? Yeah, go for it then. At the rate, server name. This will return you name of the server to which you are connected. Ahmed. That is my server name. Just now I've shown you. My local system itself is server name. My local system itself is what? Server name. That itself is server name. Acha, which instance? Which instance you're talking about? Obviously, default instance. Default instance is what should be the name? This should be the name. This should be the name. MSSK. Acha, you want to see that name? You go for it. Select at the rate service name. Go for it. Yes. MS SQL server. That is my default instance. Shall we connect named instance also? Yeah, I have installed some other batch of mine, DBA, some other DBA batch of mine. I installed SQL Server software. So in that batch I have installed. So I have multiple instances. Yeah, connect now. No problem. Connect. One more you connect. Connect. Browse. Database engine. Server 1. Okay. Connect. Yes. Open new query again. One more query. I opened one more query. One more query. Yeah, that is for server 1. Just 1 second, please. 1 second. Yeah, now I opened. I have opened one more. Yeah, one more query editor. Yeah, now copy. No? Same 2 lines you copy. Connect server name. Obviously, local only. No? So server name will be Ahmed only. But service name, server 1. See, server 1. Named instance. I gave an example last class. My named instances. 49 times you can install. You may give any name. Server 1, server 2, server 3. Not necessary. They are not like, compulsory. You should know. You are not comfortable with this. Change the names. Server name, server 1, server 2, server 3. My name, Shareef. Right? Suma. Right? Sandeep. Your own choice. You have no restrictions on that. No, no, no. You with whichever the name you feel comfortable, give it. Yes. Server name, server. What is this? Whenever you write this, it's very clearly resembles there. Global variable you call in SQL Server. You call them. Whenever you find a word which is being preceded by 2 symbols, you call them as global variable. You can call even by one more name, scalar variable, global variable, scalar variable. These all are names given. Many are there, many. A big list is there. Server name, service name. Yeah. Here, what was that? What was the service name? MS SQL. Default instance. This is what? Named instance. This is automatically provided during installation. This is myself provided during installation. Acha, which version you are using? Yeah, at the rate version. I'm using SQL 2014 release 12.0.2000 version. Hmm. Same. Obviously, here also same only, no? At the rate version. Same. Execute. Yes. Acha, which is your session ID? 56. Check. At the rate. SPID. Session process ID. 56. Same you take. Same. Come back. You connect. Yes. Here also same thing. 52 here. Command same. Session change. 52. That was 56. Hmm. Server name, instance name, both. Which server? Local server. 100% local server. No doubt in it. Local server only. Browse for more. Here, kya hai? Local server. Network servers, why will I get? Because that requires multiple connections. No? There should be a physical connection between systems. Obviously, I don't have. This is my single laptop. Alone, single standalone laptop. So obviously, I talk about what then? Local servers. Hmm. Acha, one more interesting thing I'll show you. Oh, very good. Let's just see here. Close this. Let's see what exactly it is. Close this all. Close this. Just for demonstration, I've shown you. Disconnect, please. Everything you disconnect. Disconnect. Connect again. I want to go with default instance. Default. Multo, default instance. Only name I should give. Instance name will not come. Only name. So when you want to connect to local server and when you want to connect to server name, either you give Ahmed, that is my system name, that is agreed. Okay. If not, just call dot. Enough. Dot. Connected. That also makes a connection to local server. Disconnect, connect again. Dot. You type dot. Or do one thing. Do one thing. Type local host. Then also it will connect. All are connecting with default instance. Local server, default instance. Disconnect, connect. No, you do not write. And then type IP address. 127.0.0.1. Connected. Disconnect. Connect again. I want to connect with named instance. Achha, you want to connect with named instance. Named instance on local server. So then keep dot slash server one. Enter. Connected. Local server one instance. Acha. We'll type them. Localhost slash server one. Acha. Spelling mistake I did. That is the reason it is taking time. Spelling mistake I did. L I missed in it. Local LOCA got typed. Okay. Anyways, just type here. Local host. Local host server one. Connected. Disconnect. Yeah. Same thing I mentioned in this picture here. Can you see here? Right. You can type system name, you can keep dot, you can type localhost, you can keep IP address, local IP address. If it is named instance, system name, dot, localhost. Last में you should keep slash instance name. Yes. Yeah. Next part, see, next part. That is network server. That is different. That is for network environment. Now here you have third option, authentication. Authentication. Authentication is two types we have. Windows authentication, SQL Server authentication. Yeah. And you want to see this now? See, Windows authentication you see. SSMS, open the tool. Connect to server. Yeah, connect to server. Can you see here? I'll change. Just keep Ahmed. Sufficient. Ahmed. Can you see here? Here. Authentication. 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 And you can see. What you can see? Here. These two are disabled. They are not working. They are not working. Why? Because in Windows authentication, it will connect to server with Windows OS credentials. Yes. In Windows authentication, it will connect to server. I'll give you little more in expanded form of picture. Okay, just 1 second. Here, I'll just show you. 1 second, 1 second. Yeah, I'll show you now. See, same picture I'll draw. I'll say like this. Windows authentication will connect. For whom? SQL Server. Connect to what? Server. Through what? Through what? Windows OS user password. Wait, credentials. Username, password. Windows user password, not SQL Server user password. And what is my username? This Ahmed you find. This Ahmed, capital letter. This is my system name. System name. This Ahmed is a small letter. This is username in Windows OS. Username in Windows OS. My username is Ahmed. My system name is also Ahmed. So it differentiated, you see. Capital letter Ahmed is server name, system name, and small letter Ahmed is username. Yeah. That is Windows authentication. Acha. Now, indirectly, Windows authentication is depending on OS credentials now. It is depending on OS credentials. So, since it is trusting, that is the reason Windows authentication is called trusted connection. Can you see here? Trusted connection. And second is there, that is called SQL Server authentication. Acha, come back then. Change here, change SQL Server authentication. For me, both of them are working. SA, this is default login. Now in SQL Server authentication, the story goes like this. SQL Server. In SQL Server authentication, story goes like this. Yeah. What it is? You can say like, in SQL Server authentication, it will connect to server with sorry, undo. Yeah. It will connect to server with login and password of SQL Server. OS is not involved here. OS is not involved in SQL Server authentication. In SQL Server authentication, what is happening? It will not connect. It will not use OS credentials. It will connect to server with login and password of SQL Server. OS is not involved here at all. And this SA is default login. Which software will provide. Default login, software provided login. SA, system administration, SA. And password of this login we provide during installation of SQL Server software. Yes. SA. Yes. Password 1, 2, 3. I gave in my machine. Connected. Disconnect, connect. SA. Acha, do one thing. Default instance, we are connecting with SQL Server authentication. Named instance, I'll connect with what do you call Ahmed server with Windows authentication. Oh, okay. Now I'll show you the difference. See, default instance, new query, named instance, new query. Here, default instance. Write all those, whichever I wrote. Server name, service name, select version, select SPID, right? Copy all these things, dump here. Here you run. Yeah, you got all those. Here also you run. C here. Default instance. But which user? Default instance. SA. You want to know that you're connected? Yeah, check then. S username. Execute. SA. And here you run. You should get Ahmed / Ahmed. Select S username. Execute. And here you find Ahmed / Ahmed. Ahmed this server name. Ahmed this username in my machine. When I have named my system, when I purchased my laptop, when I named my system, it was coincidence, like it got matched with my system name and username, both got matched with the same name. Otherwise, your system may have some different name. Username may be different, system name may be different. I'm talking about your laptop, your personal laptop. If your SQL server already there in your laptop, you just type out these queries and see. You can experience the same. Are you all following me? Everyone in the batch? Suma, Fatima, Sandeep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, Sandeep.
Yes,
Suma,
sir.
Yes, sir.
okay. Yeah, what? Okay. These are all these, what do you call? All this all this what do you call? Scalar variables, global variables. Then what is this? And these are SQL Server things. Development level, may you will study all this. Not in DBA classes. DBA, I'm just giving you an idea. These all things, few may be aware, few may not be aware. Why to have that confusion? I better felt to discuss with you. These all at the rate. What do you call global variable? What is the other name? Scalar variable. Why scalar variable? Because they provide one value, single scalar, multiple vector. You understand? Just 1 second. Yeah. So, and what is this then? What is this? S user. This is a word being followed by parenthesis. Then you read function. Function. Development level में quite very heavy topic it is. There are a lot of logical queries that you come across to, practice, to learn lot of. I go in depth of this functions topic in my development classes. Very detailed, I go very detailed. So that, if someone who makes even in future interested to plan to make your career into DBA, for them, they can excel. Like I show you one of the batches. Even complete functions topic I would discuss like this actually. Yeah, this is complete functions topic. 13 categories we have, 13 categories of functions. You understand? S username, that will return your username. This is which application you're working with? What is the application name? Why you ask query, you write a function, it will give you name, it will give you management studio you're working with. Expand here, management studio. Yes, authentication. Then last may you find database. Every instance will have one default database available. 100% one database available. 100% I'm saying one database. And what is it? Yes, this is how you justify. Here, master. Default database I'm saying. Default. What is it? Master database. Master database. Yeah. And is this a first database? 100%. Every instance will have, by default, the first database as master database. Yes. How to justify? Yeah, you write a query. Query will return you that answer as well. You want to know? Yeah, select DB name. Yes. ID also, you know, DB ID. Yeah, execute. Expand this. Little, increase. Yeah, here, master. First database, one. DB ID, one. This is the story I explained you about what? About what? Connection to server. And connection to server where? In management studio. Yeah. You understand? Yeah. So whatever this is reference to, yeah, management studio, those all things I listed. Notes and all, nothing to worry. I myself will give you the notes. Videos management will share with you. Notes I will share. You be only with a point that